What up, dudes? It's Gaz, and welcome to the Warframe video. So, since I've been having so much fun with the Cedo lately, I wanted to make just a loadout based around the Cedo and glaive juiciness. This is also an excuse to finally use a mod that they've recently introduced with Deimos Arcana that I just wanted to fit into a build situation, either here or there. So I finally found a use for it. I do think it is actually pretty good here. So before we get into it, let's make sure that you hit that like button on the video. It will actually make people like you more if you like the video. It is a scientific fact. People that like my videos are more likable in real life. It is just true. All right? So we've got the Cedo here, which is Lavos' signature shotgun. It's also a glaive launcher and potentially the best condition overload procer in the game. So you can use whatever Exilus mod you feel like here. A lot of people like Fatal Acceleration. I like Silent Battery. And we've got a full condition overload focused build here where we've got radiation and viral. This thing is also going to proc blast on the secondary shot and the 4 base elementals, which are toxin, cold, electric, and heat. We have a full video on this weapon in the previous video I just posted. So yeah, we got this one. That's our first glaive. We got the second glaive, which is the Glaive Prime. Gonna toss this thing. It's got guaranteed slash procs on the heavy explosion. And I haven't actually done like a full video on glaive since their mini rework. I did a video on like the dev workshop, and I think the heavy attack builds are going to be the best, and it does seem like the heavy attack builds are the best here. So yeah, if you do not have a Riven with initial combo, you want to just put Corrupt Charge in that last slot, and it will let you have some combo multiplier and keep that good combo going. We've got Volatile Quick Return just for increased blast radius, because the entire focus of this build will be blowing up a ton of high-level enemies, and if they don't die to the initial explosion, they will die to a gigantic slash proc afterwards. That's why we have a mod like Smite Corrupted. Also notice how we have Condition Overload on here. This is usually just like not even worth it because it's just such stupid, overwhelming damage, but with the singular glaive from the Cedo causing all these procs, I couldn't pass it up. This is so many procs. That's going to affect our slash proc, become ridiculously high. And of course, like I said, if you don't have a Riven with these stats, you're going to have to change the build a little bit. Alright, so we've got the glaive number 1, we got the glaive number 2. This is the double glaive setup. And we are going to be using our Helminth Inaros build. Also with the dog from the Helminth Inaros video. I will post that video in the description below. But yeah, so basically the mod I wanted to like fit into all this build is the new Predacite ability. This comes from Sun on the Necrolisk. It's called a Volatile Parasite. It's for Predacites, the infested dogs from Deimos. So what this one will do is you spit out a maggot every 15 seconds, or rather your dog will spit out a maggot every 15 seconds. That maggot will latch onto an enemy and make nearby enemies attack that enemy. So basically, it makes an area where the enemies will gather around, make it real easy for you to throw a glaive into that group of enemies and destroy them. And it will also the maggot will explode, dealing viral damage within 10 meters. I don't really know what the status chance of that is, but it doesn't really matter because we're just going to be blowing up all the enemies anyway. Just like, I'm going to show some stuff from the Helminth Inaros video. We're using Mecha mod set, which will give us insane armor on our Inaros. It also is going to make it where the dog will mark an enemy every like 15 seconds. If we kill them, the enemy will transfer its status effects to enemies within 30 meters. So I think you can kind of see what we're going for here. Gather the enemies up. Hopefully one of those enemies is marked by Mecha. If we kill that enemy, the slash proc that killed the enemies in that immediate area from the glaive toss will transfer to enemies around, and it's a gigantic slash proc, like 30-meter slash proc, basically, with also all these condition overload procs. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It does not always reliably go off, to be fair, but it is very good. You also will notice we're running Mecha Empowered and Mecha Pulse, just for ridiculous. Honestly, if you take some of these mods off, the cooldown on the Mecha marking thing is just way too slow. That's really the main reason here. So, if I was to run this build again, I would take off Hunter Adrenaline and put on the augment mod for Inaros called Negation Swarm, which is basically, since we don't have Prime Sure-Footed on here, it's going to make it where it's basically Prime Sure-Footed. You never get knocked down, because getting knocked down is annoying. This is going to have Subsumed Roar on here, just to make the dog do more damage, because the dog will actually kill some stuff, and also just makes you do more damage with your slash procs. We also have a build with Warcry on here, which will make you throw your glaive faster, and you can just subsume on whatever you feel like, really. I really have not had energy issues with Inaros, so I would take that off in the future. Alright, that's enough talking about the build. Let's just show it in action real quick. Well, let's actually show it in the simulacrum real quick. I am going to pause the enemies just so we can actually see which one is marked, because in an actual mission, there's just so much chaos from all the enemies exploding and dying that you're going to have a hard time seeing the dog icon. That's like the only problem with this setup, I'd say, is first off, the pet AI is really bad. There's the maggot right there. Let's just resummon them, I guess. Maybe the AI is just really, really bad. Alright, maybe going in and out operator would fix it. Alright, so the maggot just exploded there. Now wait for our dog to come over here and mark an enemy. There we go. Now we're going to use a secondary fire from the Cedo to get lots of procs on the enemies. And there is the maggot. That's one of the maggots. It has two maggots. It's got the group up maggot. There's the group up maggot right there. And it's also got the mini Nidus maggot, which will, right, as you can see right there, viral proc the enemies. Now, if it would actually, there's the dog mark right there. We're going to fire out the glaive, and we're going to throw our glaive prime, and heavy attack explode it. It should transfer the slash proc to every. Well, it transferred a lot of procs, but it did not see. That's what I'm saying. That's the problem with this. It's unreliable, but there's times where it will transfer a gigantic slash proc that will one-shot all the enemies. So, you know, I'll show you it in mission. It's actually much better in mission than in the Simulacrum right now, because it's too controlled of a situation in the Simulacrum. So, yeah, it's basically playing fetch with your dog. You throw the glaive, and the dog like picks up the glaive, and you have fun. Okay, so let's just hop into mission. As you can see right there, I got a decent armor buff from my mecha bonus. You can get a lot more than just 130. Let me show you. All right, this is in a Steel Path Survival, and I believe a Acolyte was just about to spawn. So there you go. Acolyte's about to spawn. Now this does not insta-kill the Acolyte, to be fair. This is definitely meant more for clearing out like large mobs of enemies. But you know, the Acolyte dies in about like he would have probably technically died from that one hit right there. And keep in mind, we have a Bane of the Grineer mod on here, so we have an entire mod not even focused. It does nothing against the Acolyte. The Acolyte is not a Grineer. So yeah, you fire off that glaive from the Cedo. Enemies are all procced up. They're taking the biggest slash proc they ever seen. And of course, I could be putting more viral on them, but you know, we definitely don't need that. So yeah, it's very nice. I don't think it would work as well on Anaros, because the thing about Anaros is, you'll see it in the Helm with Anaros video, it's just about making your dog really tanky. The Link health mods will transfer over your health from your frame to your dog, and it makes my dog has 12,000 health right now. So, and you can get higher than that for sure. So, pretty good stuff here. As you can see, the Glaive Prime has that force slash proc on the explosion of the heavy attack. A lot of the other glaives have force procs as well. Like, for example, the Zorus has a force electric proc. That's definitely much weaker than a force slash proc. But, I mean, at least you're thinking about the Zorus after the Zorus became useless. You know, at least it does that. I was going to show the Zorus in this video, but the Glaive Prime is just so much better than the Zorus, so I decided to not do that. The Serrata has a force toxin proc, I believe. I believe the Falcor has a force electric proc as well. So yeah, I'd say that this is definitely a pretty fun loadout. Of course, you do not need to use the glaive here. The double glaive is just for fun. This will work with other slash-focused melees as well. So like your Guandao primes, your Pangolin primes, like Broken War, all that kind of stuff. It will work totally fine with those. Graham Prime, etc., etc. But, you know, it's explosion on explosion. There was the dog bonus going off right there. See, the first explosion went off, and then another explosion went out as well. I believe that Mecha set bonus also goes through walls. Along with the glaive also goes through walls. So it's really, really strong stuff. And it's very effective. I mean, I was just giggling while tossing this glaive, exploding all these enemies, to be honest. Now, for some reason, I didn't take a proc, but whatever. And yeah, you can just run, honestly, even with no prime point blank, your Cedo can kill these enemies with the primary crit shot. So yeah, pretty good stuff here. Hopefully you guys found this video fun and helpful. Like I said, I wanted to just make a video with the infested new ability for the dog. And it's hard to notice exactly in this clip working, but I can tell you for a fact it does work. It makes the enemy, see, like it's working right there. They're attacking that enemy that had the parasite on it. They're not attacking me. They're gathering up, making it easier for me to just throw a glaive at them and make them explode in slash. Yeah, the way you also explode the glaive with a heavy attack is you hold the normal melee button, and then while it's in flight, push the heavy attack button. I don't know what the control scheme is on console, to be honest, but on PC, I will tell you that for a fact. throw the glaive with the primary melee button, and then push the heavy attack button mid-flight. It will explode in crazy damage, and that's where you get those 4 slash procs. All right, guys. Of course, you could take out... You don't want to run the increased blast radius mod, which is volatile quick return. I've heard some good things about power throw. That would be even more damage, but the thing is, you don't need that much damage, honestly. Like, this entire build is unnecessary damage. Power throw gives you punch through and increased throw damage. So, I mean, that sounds pretty stupid. But then again, like I said, it's focused on explosions, okay? This is one of many videos that will be coming off the CEDO as part of a synergy with Condition Overload. But yeah, we'll do some more like relevant stuff coming up here pretty soon. I want to make a video on this dog mod. I want to make a video on the glaive, because I made a video on like the dev workshop, like I said, but not a video on actual glaives, how they are in game right now, and they are very good. So yep, guys, I'll talk to you next time. See you with another daily upload tomorrow. And yeah, hopefully you are enjoying the channel as much as I am. I'm having a lot of fun, and yeah, I think we'll have the year in review Warframe coming out here pretty soon. So we'll see how cringe that ends up being. All right, guys, peace.